Okay, let's talk about immigration lawyer backlinks. What makes a good backlink for an immigration lawyer website? Well, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk all about that. I am Dustin Sanchez. You're watching DustinSanchezTV.com, your lawyer marketing expert. It's go time, baby. Let's do this. Okay, let me bring in screen 2 here. If you're watching this, you've probably already read this article, Immigration Lawyer SEO and Facebook ads for immigration law firms. Okay, this is on my website. Just Google Immigration Lawyer SEO Dustin Sanchez if you want to start here, because right now you're starting at video number 2, which is going to be paired with article number 2 in the Immigration Lawyer Marketing series. Okay, we're talking about Immigration Lawyer SEO right now, and we're talking about backlinks. In article number 1 and video number 1, we covered just general immigration lawyer SEO. Now we're going to get into the weeds a little bit. Okay, we're going to talk about, let me see if I can scroll down here. We're going to talk about, in article number 2, we will talk about immigration attorney backlinks, the cornerstone of immigration lawyer SEO. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you some backlinks, and I'm going to show you why these are good backlinks. We're going to do that from the rough draft of article number 2. Okay, let's go to that rough draft right now. Of course, if you click the link in the video description, you will get to the finished product of this article. Okay, but in article number 2, we're going to talk about what makes a good backlink. Okay, and rule number 1, traffic is king. Okay, let me just show you what I mean by that. Okay, here we are inside of Ahrefs. This is just a popular software in the industry. It's one that I use to monitor certain websites. And when I make these videos, inevitably, any lawyer website that I use as a case study or as an example in the video, everyone goes and looks at that website. So none of these are my own clients, just because I don't want people reverse engineering my process. Even though I'm giving away the store here, I'm telling you my process in this video. But I'm just using some websites that do very well, and I'm going to show you why they have good backlinks. Make the screen a bit bigger. All right. This is a website, wildslaw.com. They are, I believe, in New York City. They're doing very well. I found them by just Googling New York City immigration lawyer and picking one of the websites that rank very highly. Okay. These are the backlinks. Okay. And if you look right here, I have these backlinks sorted by traffic. Okay. The number 1 sign that you have a healthy website is, generally speaking, how much traffic that website gets. Okay. When you're trying to backlink, when you're trying to acquire a backlink, in a perfect world, the entire domain, for instance, this is justia.com. This entire domain overall would have a ton of traffic to it. That means it's a healthy website. And then even better is if the actual URL, the page, justia.com/lawyer/immigration lawyer/New York/New York City. That is a URL. That is a specific page. You want the page traffic to be high. Okay. It's just the fact that traffic is traffic is the hardest thing to fake. It can be faked, but it's the hardest thing to fake. And that's why Google uses page traffic as the highest indicator of whether this is a good backlink. Okay. But I'll throw a caveat here in that every attorney in New York City who practices immigration is going to have a free backlink from this specific Justia page. Those backlinks are free. So even though this is a good backlink to have, you also have to consider that every New York immigration lawyer is going to have this backlink. Okay, so it's a wash. You got to have it, but that basically just brings you up to the same level as everyone else. Okay, but when you are going to try to acquire a backlink, what you need to look for is page traffic. Does this backlink have page traffic? This one gets 581 visits a month to this page. There's also like overall traffic, domain traffic. That's not as important, but it is important. You want a backlink from a website that gets traffic. You don't want it a website that gets 1,000 visits a month is just going to be a better backlink, all things else being equal, than a website that only gets 0 visits per month. Okay. So we talked about traffic. Then when we talked about traffic, we said a little caveat. This is justia.com is just a lawyer profile. All right. It's just a lawyer directory. All right. And chances are every attorney that you're competing against in your market is going to have the same justia.com, lawyers.com, avo.com lawyer profile backlinks. So this isn't the best example in the world to use, but I'm just trying to illustrate the importance of traffic. What is next? Relevance. Okay. Traffic is king. Relevance is queen. Let me make this a bit bigger. What do I mean by relevance? Okay. Well, there are several different types of relevance. Let's go look at all of them. Okay. You have the domain name. For example, the domain name here is Justia. Justia is just a word. What would be more relevant would be something like, let's see if I can find it. Well, I don't see any relevant domain names here. Okay. But let's go back to the Justia backlink. Okay. If this domain name Justia was lawyers, that's pretty relevant because you're a lawyer linking to a lawyer website. If the domain name was immigration lawyers, that's even more relevant because you're an immigration lawyer website linking to another immigration lawyer website. If the domain name was New York City immigration lawyers, that's even more relevant because you are a New York City immigration lawyer website linking to a New York City immigration lawyer. Okay. So that's the first relevance factor, domain name, meaning before the .com or the .net or the .org, the domain name. If it's relevant to the kind of lawyer that you're linking to, in this case, immigration, that's good. The next relevance factor would be SEO meta title. Okay, let me pull up this website. Okay, and I'm going to hover right here, and I'm going to have to make this smaller. Bear with me while I make this a bit smaller. Okay, so we're at a web page. I'm going to hover right here, and you see something pop up. I hover. And then what pops up is War in Afghanistan - Operation Red Wings - Together We Serve blog. That is the SEO meta title. That particular SEO meta title is not relevant to immigration lawyer. Okay, this is a blog article about the war in Afghanistan, and it has nothing to do with immigration lawyers. So that is not a relevant meta title. However, excuse me, let me find another website. Okay, if I hover over this website, the meta title is Immigration Lawyer Backlinks Video 1280 720. That URL, that meta title, sorry, is relevant to immigration lawyers. Okay. If I hover right here, you see this web page. I'm going to hover over this, and the meta title is New York City Immigration Lawyers Compare Top Rated New York Attorneys. This meta title is highly relevant. Okay. Let me make this bigger again. So we talked about the URL, the domain name. This case, the domain name is Justia, which is not incredibly relevant, but the meta title right here is New York City Immigration Lawyers. That is relevant. That's incredibly relevant because it's relevant to the one, practice area, and two, city. So you got local relevance and you have practice area relevance in this meta title. Okay. The next relevance factor is the URL, meaning the page URL. So let's go look at that. Okay, the domain name is justia.com. Like whatever comes before the .com, that's the domain name. What comes after, that's the URL. And a lot of these branded websites like Justia. Justia is a brand. Expertise.com, that's a brand. They want to be able to link to all kinds of things. So they don't get the relevance from their domain name. But if you go to the entire URL, you see NYC immigration attorneys. So they use the URL to get the relevance. All right. So that's the difference between domain name and URL. In a perfect world, you would like all of your backlinks to come from a relevant domain name, but that's incredibly hard to fake. There's only so many New York City immigration attorney websites out there. So you go a little further down the line and you get your relevance from the URL versus the domain name. Okay. What's next? We'll talk about headings like H1 tags, H2 tags. Let's go back to this Justia. Here's the H1, the heading number 1. It's New York City immigration lawyer. That's a relevant heading. However, all of these other headings, they're not really relevant. They're just names. All right, let's go back to the block. Then we'll talk about page content for relevance. Okay. If you look, let's look again at this war in Afghanistan blog article. The page content is all about the war in Afghanistan, even though they're linking to an immigration lawyer inside of this blog article. All of the story, the content on the page, it's all about the war in Afghanistan. So it's not very relevant to immigration law, even though right here you can see they are backlinking to this immigration attorney at Wild's Law. Or I'm sorry, they're backlinking to a page on this immigration attorney website. If I click this backlink, now I am at Wild's Law. You can see right here. So they're backlinking to a page on that website, but it's not very relevant. It's about the war in Afghanistan as opposed to being about immigration law. Okay, so we talked about page content. What is the next factor? The final factor in relevance is the anchor text. Okay, the anchor text that they use to backlink to you. Again, you can see this anchor text is view website. This anchor text is just the brand, Wilds Weinberg PC. This backlink has nothing to do with immigration law. Okay. This is a very important shift that a lot of people did not talk about in SEO. It happened about 2013-ish, 2015-ish, where SEO switched from the right side of the page to the left side of the page. Okay. Anchor text became much less important than meta title, domain, and URL. Used to be this side of the page was all important, the anchor text, and you manipulated anchor text of the backlink to acquire relevance. That is no longer the case. Typically, you see people now backlinking with branded anchors like view website, click here. This is the brand name right here. Typically today, circa 2022 and beyond, we no longer try to manipulate anchor text to get a good backlink. Google's figured that out. Now Google's algorithm has switched to the left-hand side here, where meta title is very hard for someone like me to manipulate. How can I tell Justia what their meta title is going to be? Very hard for me to do, but if you know what you're doing, it's not a big hurdle to overcome. That's why domain name, URL, meta title are all more important relevance factors than anchor text. Okay, but that is what makes a good backlink. Let's keep going. So we have talked about traffic. We've talked about traffic being king. We've talked about relevance being queen. Now we're going to talk about website health. Okay. Again, I keep harping on traffic. Most people, most SEO experts, when they are acquiring backlinks, are looking for domain authority, which is an outdated factor. Anyways, they're looking for trust flow, which is an outdated metric. Anyways, they're looking for the amount of other websites that link to the backlink. Okay. That is an old way of doing things. Traffic is king now. Okay. Traffic is the biggest indicator of health. It's no longer how many other backlinks are linking to you. That is the indicator of health. So when I am looking for a healthy backlink, the thing I'm looking for the most is, does this website that I am going to link to my client's immigration law firm website, does that particular website get any traffic to it? Okay. If not, it's not a great backlink. Okay. And when I say website, you have to make the distinction between the domain name and the URL. Does the overall website get traffic? If it does, great. Now, does the specific web page on that website get traffic? If it does, that's great, because now I can link that specific web page to my client's immigration lawyer website. This is why I am able to beat almost all other SEOs for less cost. Okay. Because they are acquiring quantity of backlinks, whereas I am acquiring quality of backlinks. Do the websites that I am linking to my clients have traffic? Not only that, but does the specific web page that I am linking to my clients have traffic? Okay. Traffic means healthy, generally speaking. Okay. What else determines whether you have a healthy website or not? Well, you have to look at the backlinks. Let's go back. Okay, if I go to justia.com, this specific page, right? I'm going to open this specific page. This justia.com URL is linking to this immigration lawyer web page. Okay, let's copy this, copy. And then we're going to analyze this specific web page. Paste, enter. All right. You can see these are all the websites that are linking to that page on Justia. And if all of these websites were gambling websites, pornography websites, just websites that typically are associated with spam, then that would be a bad backlink to acquire for your client. because that would mean that this specific page is not incredibly healthy in the eyes of Google. But what do you see? You just see a bunch of lawyer websites. Here's another one. Here's another one. Healthy lawyer websites linking to this Justia page. And this Justia page links to our client website. Okay. That's an indication of health. A lot of times people ask, what do you mean when I say we're looking for healthy websites? Number one, it's traffic. Traffic is the biggest indicator of health. Number two, what are the websites that link to the website that we are going to link to our clients? Okay. And then finally, backlink quality. Okay. And again, the one thing you could ask is, does this web page, lawyerscanhelp.com/immigration nationalization New York, does that web page get traffic? If it does, you know it's a quality backlink that's linking to our website, which is going to link, that's linking to our backlink, which is going to link to our website. Okay. I know all of this is confusing. That's why people hire SEO experts like Dustin Sanchez Media LLC. It's confusing to describe in layman terms. If you're an SEO expert, you've probably heard all of this before. If you're a lawyer watching me explain how to rank your website in the Google search algorithm for your specific keyword using specific types of backlinks, you don't want to learn all this stuff. You practice law for a living. Let me handle the client getting for you. Okay. Go to DustinSanchezTV.com/contact. Watch the video on that page. Fill out my client discovery form, and we will conduct a short marketing consultation with you. Get you on the first page of Google shortly after that. All right. Last thing we're going to talk about is anchor text. And really, we've already talked about anchor text. And what we said was that a few years ago, anchor text was extremely important. You would see this anchor text would be something like immigration attorney. And then this next anchor text would be something like best immigration lawyer. And then this next anchor text might be something like law firm focusing on immigration. You know, that was extremely important. This was right side SEO. This was left hand side SEO. Some years ago, the algorithm shifted because Google realized it was too easy for people like me to control what the anchor text would be. So they shifted to SEO meta title relevance, domain name relevance, and URL relevance. Okay. And what you see in anchor text today is what you see right here. Just a bunch of branded type anchor text like view website, the domain URL, bio. You see very little keyword anchor text like visas, immigration. And even when you do see it, it's branded keyword, partial match keyword. Okay. So typically, this is how I build my own anchor text. I brand it and I use the meta title, the domain name, and the URL and the page contents to get the relevance. All right. I am Dustin Sanchez at DustinSanchezTV.com, your lawyer marketing expert. I put immigration attorneys on the first page of Google all the dang time, brother and sister. So you need some lawyer marketing. You need to learn how to build a better overall online footprint for your immigration attorney website or any website. I do divorce attorneys, DWI lawyers, personal injury, car accident, business, real estate, trademark, who else? Just all kinds of practice areas for lawyers. If it's lawyer marketing, I'm the person to go to. We handle Facebook ads, YouTube, blogging, search engine optimization, social media, whatever. Hit me up, DustinSanchezTV.com/contact. And before I go, I want to say, you want to learn more about what's working now in lawyer marketing, I want you to download my free e-course that is on the screen right now, and that'll give you a heads up on what's working right now in lawyer marketing and keep you abreast of all of the changes that happened. Like I said, 2 years ago, lawyer marketing was completely different. Last year, 1 year from now, lawyer marketing was completely different than it is today. And 6 months from now, lawyer marketing will be completely different than it is at the time you're watching this video. If you happen to be an immigration lawyer, go see the entire series of immigration lawyer marketing. The blog article number 1 will be linked in the description. Peace out, everybody.